Hi everybody. We've
Okay.
been working in conjunction with the Daily Brexit today. Now we've taken over Brexit extra time, and well, I'm still here, and a lot of the guests that would normally come on my show are still here as well. So we're going to double broadcast. So we've got people. We're talking about the state of British politics as usual, and we're going to let them take it away. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. My point on this is that UKIP, yes, they've had all this money coming in, but it's not as it seems. One of the big problems is you've had they're still in hock to that crook Alan Bown, and he is basically dictating what's happening, and all the problems which actually happened within UKIP can actually be linked to Alan Bown in relation to the problems with Carswell and Suzanne Evans and Lisa Duffy and Neil Hamilton. They were all people that were backed financially by Alan Bown. Okay? Now, what has now happened is UKIP is now being run. People used to say that Nigel Farage was a pound shop Enoch Powell, and that was insulting and wasn't correct. However, now UKIP is being run by correct, and it's to state it correctly, a pound shop Oswald Mosley, and that is the fact of the matter. If the people who are all getting behind Gerard Batten, but attacked Anne-Marie Walters, Gerard Batten is worse as a person in his views and more extreme than Anne-Marie Walters is, and I don't support Anne-Marie Walters, but I can see that is a big problem, and he's taking UKIP where UKIP never was, and that is to the far right. And he is, well, I say the far right, it's not necessarily the far right, he's taking it towards a national socialism agenda rather than a libertarian agenda.
Well, wait. What do you class as a national socialism agenda? Controlling our borders, taking control and getting all the immigrants gone?
I'm talking about being like Hitler.
Yes, there you go. Say it like that then. Say,
well, that's what it means.
No,
socialism.
National socialism is actually what we're pretty much living under without the frigging nationalism.
I know, but what I'm.
Can I just have a question there then?
Hitler was on the left, you see. Hitler was on the far left.
2 seconds, Jones.
Bill Etheridge on the show. I asked him a very specific question last month, and I said, "Are you in a position, and would you run for leadership?" And he said yes. And obviously, he has done before, but he said yes. He bowed down at the moment. He said for 12 months before he chooses to go for leadership. Do you think that's a wise choice?
No, I don't. I think basically UKIP's now a busted flush, and that's the reality of it. Yes, new parties take time to set up, but let's put this into context. Okay, for example, DVP has been around for what? Less than 2 months. Yeah. Now, in my area, okay, just because of people dropping out, yeah, we actually at one point were going to have double figures of candidates. Okay, we ended up only getting 3, unfortunately, because of various things, external influences on people having problems. But our membership is increasing drastically every single week. I'm getting emails through every single week. Oh, these are new people you need to contact. I'm spending half my time on the phone to new members, and getting them involved. I
spoke to a woman last week. She's a teacher, so she's quite clued up. And when I was talking, she knew bits and bobs. So I told about the party, DV party. And so it's actually talking about changing the way the rules are. So you're actually going to have single representation. She knew exactly where I came from straight away. And she said, they're not, are they? I said, why? Why do you say that? Well, look at France and look at Germany. That's what they've got, and you end up always having a coalition of a government, and nothing actually gets done properly. So how are you going to combat
that? Our system is not like Germany. It's not like that. What we're talking, direct democracy is actually more like Switzerland, okay? And the issue, what you get there is, we're not talking about having representatives in the same way. What we have at the moment, if you've got
in Switzerland,
yeah.
Sorry, Chris. In Switzerland, they actually do enjoy the referendums they have, and they have about 20 a year.
Yeah, exactly.
And they actually enjoy their referendums.
Exactly. So this is what we're talking about. It's like Switzerland. It's not like Germany.
Mute your mic, James. Mute your mic. Mute it if you.
So basically, what we're actually doing is putting the people in charge. We're not talking about proportional representation. That's actually something that UKIP's talking about, and it's just because while proportional representation has its merits, it's still having the thing where you elect someone, and that someone still can make their own decisions as they see fit. What we're doing is we're having a representative who will make decisions if people are not fussed about the issue. But if people have got an issue, the quorum vote is met, and you have people and the actual population are interested in this, that representative is bound to vote with their constituents. And if they vote against their constituents, what we've got is something I think is written down as something like a free strike rule. You go against your constituents 3 times, you're automatically facing a by-election to be voted out.
Yeah. Can I just come in on that as well?
I do like the way the
law would have
councillors.
been passed by then.
Let me just come in.
The law would have been passed by then.
Carry on.
We're only.
By the time you've done that, the law would have been passed if you give them a free strike, because you're only acting retrospectively.
Party, for what I see, can actually remove the councillors within 1 year of their term. You can't do that the next day. So if your councillor isn't voting the way your constituency voted them in, they get removed, and it's the next one who would have come second who takes that place. I think that's quite a good idea. So you don't have to wait 4 years to remove a councillor when they're getting paid. The councillors never used to get paid. It's only because we joined the EU and now get paid.
They get allowed. They get
sorry, Chris, but the reason why your council tax is going up and your services are going down is because you're paying for their bloody big pensions.
Yep.
And no one talks about that. And that's what your council tax is going up. It's not because services are being up and we've got austerity measures.
We touched on this last night.
Their pensions are coming out of your council tax.
Yeah, and it's all everybody in the bloody EU's pensions as well.
To leave the EU, do all councillors stop getting paid?
It just means we can change that if we leave the EU.
But this is also the thing. People saying about splitting the vote. I've been on the door, and I can tell you right now, because I was having to get my signatures for me to stand and for some of my other candidates stand. I can tell you one thing: the people don't want to give UKIP a chance anymore. They've had it, and that's what the people have actually saying to me on the door. They're saying that basically they've imploded. They have no respect for them whatsoever anymore, and that they've gone against manifesto promises, and they've definitely done that in Thurrock. They've actually shafted veterans in Thurrock again and gone against their actual party policy. In planning meetings. So the people, UKIP has got, I think it's got 3 candidates standing in total in Thurrock. Thurrock, which used to be its heart there. They've got the Thurrock Independents, which their first election as Thurrock Independents, they came last. You've got, and the top seats for UKIP that were always UKIP, the ones which Thurrock Independents are banking on to keep their councillors in, are the ones that are being contested by UKIP. So they're all going to lose their seats. I've been round. in my area, I've got Thurrock Independent standing. I've been told by people no one's going to vote, that people are going to go away from them, and they're not, because they don't like what they did. So I'm now in a situation. I've got an ward which is really impoverished. They've got a Muslim guy standing for Labour.
Yep.
In probably, but while it is a traditional Labour ward, it's the Labour voter tradition around here. There are very little. There is actually quite a small Muslim population in my area. The vast majority of the Labour vote is African Christians who dealt with being in countries like Nigeria where there is where they are not going to vote for a Muslim. And then I've got Thurrock Independents aren't going to be voted for. Conservatives aren't going to be voted for. So I'm picking up the votes because I'm the other. And that's what's actually happening locally. You know, UKIP is obviously scared because it realises that by having its top ranks completely and utterly corrupt and not giving a damn about people, going against positions that they had, they pushed direct democracy about when it suited them for the referendum. And the minute it came to actually having direct democracy within the party and actually not having jobs for the boys anymore, they attacked it.
Yep.
We've got people coming into the Democrats and veterans at such a level now. You know, I'm constantly busy.
Well, there's your party piece for that. Now, let me just make a comment about the proportional representation that UKIP wanted, well, that are currently now supporting. Proportional representation is only being supported because our first-past-the-post system has become corrupt. The first-past-the-post system is actually a really good system of getting the person that is in your local constituency, that cares about your local constituency and wants to do and see right by your local constituency into a powerful position. That has been completely corrupted by the establishment, where it is not that and doesn't work that way anymore. If we can bring it back to what it was and what it's for, then we can start having a bit more bottom-up government instead of top-down government.
This is the thing. This is why direct democracy is so good for this, because what you're actually doing is you're forcing the representatives to either do what their constituents want or jog on. That is what you're actually saying. You're bringing in direct recall. You're bringing in all those systems in place, which means that proportional representation is only needed when you've got a corrupt system in order to make sure that everyone gets their viewpoints heard and
nothing gets done.
One party can get enough strength. If you bring in a system where you're actually bringing the checks and balances to take out the establishment, there's no need for proportional representation, because how much more proportional can you get than having direct democracy and actually having the people themselves actually able to vote on the bills live as the bills are being debated? People will be able to say, I feel really strongly about this British Nationality Act amendment. I want it to go forward, so I'm gonna vote for it. And then you get their local MP, and he's going to read out that all of his constituents are back. Most of his constituents are backing it. If he goes against that, he's got to look at: am I going to continue to get my MP salary of nearly £80,000 and rising a year, with all the other perks and this, that, and the other, if I don't keep with my people? No, I'm not. So I'm probably going to have to vote their way.
But let me just come in on that one as well.
And if they don't, you get someone who will.
Let me just come in on that one as well, because there's a massive problem with our culture at the minute, and that's just to ignore politics. Ignore it. Don't even go out to vote, especially with the youth. They don't want to know anything about politics. So what we need to do is we need to educate them and make politics good and fun. Well, not fun, but engaging. Because if we don't engage the people with it,
You need to get rid of quangos and...
6 seconds.
No, it's all right, mate. Thank you. But you have to get rid of quangos. Government run, and you have to get rid of the whips as well. Yeah. The whips are actually illegal because as an MP, you have the right to walk into the room you want to vote, and they watch which room you walk in. And if they've got something on you, they make sure you walk the right way, or you're out of politics, and you're going to go do some time. So it's wrong, absolutely wrong. That needs to be made completely illegal. Having any whips in any government, in any party, it should be ruled completely out.
And lobbyists.
It's completely opposite to transparency, isn't it? Which is what
when you've got quangos and you've got groups of people sat there talking about a subject, the government goes, oh, let's talk about this. Let's go and see what people say. And you're a quango. You're getting paid a lot of money for one of them to sit there talking about it. Most of them are liberal-minded, educated school people who think, oh, I can earn an extra book.
Yeah.
They're not looking at the left wing. They're not looking at the right wing. They're looking at who's liberal. They're listening to a liberal-minded people who sit there deciding they want to talk about something and write it down and go to the meeting. And they're government.
As you said, sorry, 2 seconds.
Glenn next. Glenn next. Go, Glenn.
Yeah. Touching back on what you said about getting people in touch with politics, the simple way to put it is, well, they're already involved in politics. They're just too blind to actually see it.
Brainwashed.
One, they moan about the NHS. Well, guess what? That's politics.
Yep.
They moan about the benefits. Guess what? That's politics.
Yep.
They moan about the people running the country. Guess what? That's politics. They moan about the rise of the price of bread and the rise of the price of petrol. Guess what? Politics. Guess what? Everything that you do day in, day out is politics. The things that will govern your work life, politics. When you go home and you turn on your light, guess what? That's to do with politics.
That's true.
You know why Margaret Thatcher was removed so quickly out of government? Mums.
Yeah, because she was standing up to the EU and the establishment didn't like it.
She wasn't deep state.
She was Bilderberg.
She was woken up and she was going to take you out, and they took her out before she could do it. The rest of it.
But she was a Bilderberg. So...
Yeah, can I come back in?
You have to be a Bilderberg to actually sit to be the next president of the United Kingdom. Yeah, you've got to Bilderberg. So Prime Minister, when you look at Rees-Mogg and everyone's saying we want him, he's not Bilderberg. He's never going to get there. No, they'll kill him. They'll kill him.
Wait, I think Chris wanted to come back in. I think Chris wanted to come back in. Oh, it's Spirit.
Spirit it was.
You got an echo, Glenn. Really bad. But go on, Spirit.
Yeah, well, the thing that I was trying to get at when I was saying about these little parties and things like that, how long, the way this government is going, the way Theresa May's going, we're not leaving the EU, obvious. Right? So you've got this election now, which is like the local elections.
Council elections.
The council elections. If you don't do well in those, that leaves you the next election. That's going to be I think even the next election is going to be too late. We're going to be tied up in the EU, and voting won't make any difference whatsoever, no matter what party you're on.
Well, Spirit, let me come back to that one. Spirit, let me come back to that one.
I'm not saying that I'm aligned with UKIP anymore, because I think that, like you said, they're a busted flush. I agree. But with all the little parties starting up, and UKIP still possessing a certain amount of votes, the vote is going to be too spread out to do anything. That's the point I was trying to make.
Now, I'd like to come back to that, because you say it might be too late for the next election. Now, I'm thinking and I'm seeing that there's going to be so much political action this summer. There's going to be a lot of people on the street, a lot of people making demands to these people and giving ultimatums on their protests. Instead of just waving a stick about saying, we want this, we want that, we're going to say we want this or else we're going to do that, and hold the government to properly account and hold their feet above the fire. I see another general election coming maybe later on this year, maybe towards the start of next year. And I think the government are going to actually...
November time?
That is actually happening.
Yeah, and I think the government, the establishment are going to want this more.
October or March?
I think the establishment are going to want it. So the little parties, well, they predict and they hope that the little parties haven't had enough time to set up and really publish themselves. But I think it's going to backfire in their face, because everybody on these rallies and on these marches are going to say, vote for the anti-establishment party. Just do it. This is our last chance. This is our chance to get rid of the establishment. Let's do it. Doesn't matter which party it is, as long as it's not Lib Lab Con.
Independent, vote for an independent.
That's
yeah, but that's what I'm basically trying to say. And the independents have got to come together and say, if you do vote for us, we will form a coalition government between us. That's what I was saying.
David, did you see Dave Witcher's video the other day about when we have a Brexit, they're going to put EU legislation into power? See where the con is, you know?
I think Anne-Marie Waters got it absolutely spot on when she said, we will not leave the EU until the EU is destroyed. That is it. They will not let us go. We are the biggest contributor.
Fat fucking bomb on that Russell Centre with the Rothschilds.
James.
Language, mate. Just language. It's half out, mate. Ollie will tell you off. Be
Yeah.
careful.
Yeah. And I'd tell you off, mate. Yeah. But we don't...
Can I ask Chris a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Talking about UKIP, because Chris is obviously a bit more clued up than most of us here, no disrespect to anyone. Chris, on the UKIP, they were at 60,000 people. It was down to 10,000 6 weeks ago of the people who are following. Now they've got the Football Lads Alliance, the people who are choosing to join them, and they've been bailed out by £300,000, so they're not bankrupt.
Alone.
They've got 1%.
2 seconds, Paul, 2
of the
seconds. I've just got to say, it's not the FLA, it's the DFLA. Okay, the two separate groups.
I understand that. And
I just had to correct that, just for the viewers.
But the UKIP's only thank you, but the UKIP's only got 1% of the vote in general. So, what can UKIP do, Chris, if you're still listening?
Well,
because I find it impossible, isn't it?
Well,
they were down to 10,000 people 7 weeks ago, and what's it now? Even if they've added, lower, is it going strong?
No, it isn't, and this is the thing. There's a lot of false information being put out about Veterans Against Terrorism and the DFLA about how many of them are joining UKIP.
Yeah.
Now let's actually put some reality in the mix here. Right. I'll be blunt. There are quite a few members of that and DFLA who cannot join UKIP because of previous associations. Fact. There are also, when you're on the message boards, the very fact that the leadership of these groups has gone and told and had meetings with UKIP and said, we will bring our entire membership en masse in here, and they've come and then told us this is what you're doing. That has gone down like a shit sandwich.
And should have done. That's a really shitty way to approach things.
Yeah, it has gone down really badly because it's like, hang on, who I vote and who I'm a member of and who I support is my choice and it's my free will and right. So people are actually going against it, and and what they're doing, they are putting out false information about the other groups, like Democrats and veterans, and I'm having a go at these people because I know that they're lying, and I'm actually calling them out on their lies. They're actually saying things like, oh, you support members of the IRA joining. Like, no, we don't. What was said, and unfortunately some people are not clever enough to understand the nuance of it, is what we've said is everyone in the party is vetted to a very high standard. Now, anyone who has done something in the past that they regret, we are not going to hold that over them, but we need statements and evidence and all of this that they've turned over a new leaf and they renounce their actions and all of this, so that we actually have information ready to go, so that we know that no one who is a threat to the party is going to be able to come in. And there are certain organisations where there is an absolute, even though we don't officially say it, there is an absolute ban on certain members of certain organisations coming in. And that includes Common Purpose, Fabian Society, they can't come in. They literally cannot become members.
Okay, so another question back at you. Then. So let's say the DV party, Democrats Party, veterans, are going to work in alliance with the UKIP, not going for the same seats. If UKIP's going to have a stronger go, let them go. They'll go for a different seat. I like that. That's full respect. How are you going to vet the people going in? If you're going to stand by UKIP and do that, how are you going to vet the people in UKIP?
No, I've not actually said we are standing by them. That's the thing. That's what Spirit suggested.
I know. I actually read that last week, and I thought that's a good idea. Going through the thought process, that's why I come with the question I'm asking.
Right.
How are you, as a party, going to align with another party when you are vetting so well, and the other party you've got to be careful, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. So what we're looking at more is we're looking at. It's not necessary. We are looking at the candidate more than the party. So, for example, round our way, the UKIP branch, there is now Buzzard and Thurrock UKIP branch, they are generally good eggs. And to be blunt, they're not even that happy in UKIP at the moment. And they're watching how things go in certain things, and we might end up getting that branch entirely defecting.
I actually thought that UKIP was going to fold. I didn't think there was going to be £300,000 left to them. And I actually thought there's going to be a lot of people stepping over. I actually like Stephen Wolf, and actually said if he stops being independent, I'm going to go the way he's going, because I like him. I like the way he comes across. I like the way.
You wish he'd stand in your constituency. You say as well. You wish he'd stand.
I wish you would. I wish you would.
Well, Steve, this is the thing. Stephen Wolf is actually a friend of mine. Now, I know full well. I've had people saying UKIP people saying, "Oh, he'll come back to us." I can tell you right now, without any hesitation, that it will be a cold day in hell before Stephen Wolf goes back to UKIP. And definitely not with Gerard Batten in charge. That would just not happen.
Stevie Wolf was on the opening night for what I've seen.
I know, yes, I know, and I was chatting with him.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I know. I've been talking with Stephen Wolf. So don't you worry about that. But the thing is,
Stephen Wolf's a brilliant guy.
Yeah, but this is the thing. At the moment, Stephen's quite happy with not having the whip situation, as you can understand.
MEP, blessed. He's an MEP.
Yeah, he can do things, and he's not controlled as much. So if he's going to join another party, he wants to make sure that if he does join another party, he's only going to join one other party, and it's basically going to be he's considering his position. And he's not going to rush that decision.
Let me ask.
He actually does know. He actually does know the DV party, because he's obviously born.
He knows them, but he's more a case of he's not making a decision of where he's going. He's not making rash decisions. You know,
he's looking at the bigger picture, looking where people go, what happens, and how it happens. He's being smart about what he does. He's actually, I'm going to be honest, kind of on the same wavelength as me.
He can see
the United Kingdom.
Now let me just ask, Chris, does the DV party have whips? Does the DV party have whips? What's the discipline section of the DV party?
Well, the discipline section that we have is we have a vettings committee, and obviously in effect what it works out at local level, the branch chairman and the rest of the committee, they can take immediate action against the person who goes against the people.
What about going against the party?
It's not the party; it's the people. It's their constituents.
Yeah. So if somebody's
the party's there as an umbrella for the individual independent constituencies.
Yeah. So
right. So let's just say
we develop policy. We develop policy, and the policy is developed through direct democracy. So the members make the policy, yeah. But also at a local level, that is for national. That is at a national level. So when you're talking about MPs, that is the party policy there. But also their first responsibility of anyone in the party is not to the party, it's to their constituents.
Right. So let's say we've got quite a large constituency here in my town that would like to see Sharia. Now, so if a DV, so let me finish the question. So if a DV person was elected into policy here, into a position here, and their constituencies and the people in the party said they want Sharia, what's going to happen there?
Well,
that is a very good point, David.
First of all, it's illegal.
Wait.
It can't happen anyway.
Okay, I'll get your hand out. Let's hear Chris's response.
Yes, please.
Okay. What the Democrats and Veterans Party also is, as well as a direct democracy party, it is a party that wants to re-establish and strengthen the Constitution. So, therefore, if your constituents want something that is against the Constitution, then that would need to be wanted by the population of the country as a whole, and therefore through general referendum. For a general referendum of the whole country to amend the Constitution, because it's the people that make the Constitution, not the elites, not the politicians, it's the people. Therefore, it doesn't matter if your constituency wants it. If it's not wanted by the whole country, they can go whistle because it goes against the Constitution. Sharia goes against our Constitution.
It's not like I'm throwing up balls for you to hit out the park there, is it?
I take it you liked my response there.
Of course. Well, I knew the response. I know the position of the DV party, and I'd like you to make sure that you get it across to the audience as well, because it's not just about us having a conversation.
Our Constitution.
It's about how the DV party are going to use the Constitution. But there was one thing that I didn't particularly like about that, and that's you're willing to rewrite or change the Constitution.
No, strengthen. Strengthen was the word. It's not change.
No, he didn't say strengthen.
So add to it.
He didn't say strengthen. He said change.
Dave's got a good point here, because when systems are set up, it's open to abuse. So his worry, what his first question was absolutely spot on, because is it open to abuse? He's trying to say, I think. And I think it is. Any system, if you're going to change it, it's going to be open to abuse. But
that's got nothing to do with the Constitution. That's what David was saying.
No, whoa. No. What I was saying was the next level. The next level was, if you're willing to change and rewrite the Constitution, that is an even bigger problem than...
No, because it's not rewriting it or changing it. It's adding.
He said changing. His actual words were changing.
Every single politician to swear allegiance to the country once we've left the EU, because they've sworn allegiance to the EU when they signed us in.
Yes.
So you have to get everything, and you've also got the blue collars and white collars workers, and the police force and the army, all to re-swear allegiance to the United Kingdom once we leave.
We already
talking about it.
No, I know. If you notice on our party website, we've got the oath of allegiance on our party website of the military makes, to remind people of what our actual oath is. And it's not an oath to the EU. It's not an oath to the politicians or anything. It's to the country. It's an oath of allegiance to the Queen, country, and flag. Now, you can say, obviously, there is the next level of the royal family and the establishment issue there, but That needs to be released to the people, and as people, because a lot of people don't even realise we have a constitution because they're not taught about it. We need to open people's eyes to the constitution and all of these things, and to all of that, and then you open them to what the establishment needs to be doing. You open them to the fact that the current sitting monarchy is not the rightful heirs. And then the people go, hang on, we're not happy with that. We will speak with one voice through referenda to actually put everything to where it should be. So we will put the rightful royal family in place. We will put we will bring back the constitutional rights of people, including the right to bear arms, which is an inalienable right of the British people.
Amen.
Yep.
An armed nation is a safe nation.
You cannot be a people cannot be free unless they are free to stand up to their government.
Yes.
Exactly.
That is it. Yeah. Great points. Absolutely great points made there.
I know you're worried about the potential to amend the constitution. Under our constitution, the constitution is set by the people.
Well,
so
it's just
by having a direct democracy system, what you in effect have is you have a way that you can amend the constitution if there is something that the people, as a general rule, want.
Chris?
And what I mean is a majority vote, and I would say this would need to be quorum vote and all of this. There are checks and balances in place for this.
Now, just let me put a point in there. Just let me put a point in there.
Very passionate, I like it.
Because you've got the poison chalice of the media and the education system there.
But that all changes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Whoa!
We deal with
change the system. Change everything else.
Well,
that's going to take
in the system.
Going to take generations. It cannot. The education system and the media system is going to be a very tricky, difficult nut to crack.
Well, if you get rid of the act of the BBC,
if you want to change something, it all starts.
Wait there, 2 seconds.
James. Let James blast away. Go on.
As I was saying, if you want change within you, I mean, the people will come because you are all human beings are electrical energy, and that's a fact.
No, we're
you don't want change.
James, you broke up at the beginning. Can you say it again from the start?
I said, if you want change, it all starts with you, and people will follow. Because, like Gandhi says, if 1% tell the truth, others will follow eventually. You just got to keep going at it, keep going, and never give up. And the Constitution is a solution as well. We need to start attacking every element of society as well. Just give it back to them like they give it to past generations, like they've deceived us by money, legalese, like put us all in mine prisons. Like
that is actually it. You've hit a good point there. They have actually put us in our own prisons with our own mind, within our own mind. We actually imprison ourselves.
Well, love it, James.
We let them fool us, don't we? Well, we've woken up to it, so you're completely right there, James. And they have enslaved us in our own mind.
And that's why I made the point of the poison chalice of the media. That's why I made that point, because the media can tell the masses that, we have to change this about the Constitution, we have to change this, and it can be the concrete boots that are going to sink the country.
David, 2 seconds.
Let me finish my point.
Okay.
Because we were talking over each other then, I think, and not many people would have been able to decipher it. You see, what I'm saying...
He wants to say something as well, Dave. So when you go from you, Glenn, can you kick Spirit in? Because he's just remiked himself back off. He's trying to shout. His mic's not as loud as ours.
Okay, understandable. Right. What I was saying is that the media complex and the media brainwashing, they have a very strong power over the sheeple, the unawakes, the normies.
Wait, Dave, 1 second. James, can you mic? We can hear you eating, mate, and you doing Dave's heading.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry.
That's why I like to screen the guests on my show. Right. So, like I was saying, the media holds a very big sway, a massive sway over popular opinion. Now, if you can get that media box, that telly box, and the papers to all say we want to put concrete boots on the country and sink the country through changing the constitution, that can, and if you're willing to actually put into place things that are going to change the constitution, it's a poisonous chalice. That's the issue, and that's the point that I wanted to make. And
that's fair enough. But like, if say the DVP party are in office, right, and are in charge of the country, or running the country on the people's behalf, then it'd be very easy for someone to go, well, that we're going to put in this bill to state that all media has to be investigative journalism and nothing but truth and fact, and if it is of an opinion, then they shall state it's of an opinion of theirs only, not of the establishment that they work for. Okay?
That goes back to the MAPs when I was talking before, and everyone is sworn in.
And,
everybody.
So
they've all sworn in from the EU. They can't criticise the EU.
They've got that law, haven't they? They've got a law that if any journalist or anyone speaks against the EU, they can be imprisoned, fined, or whatever it is. But yeah, we just put in our own bill that states they can't do this anymore. And then with that, no narrative can be pushed by the media. We do it to our television. We do it to everything. So our corporations can't continue doing what they're doing.
Slippy slope.
And with the education system, you can change them overnight. You can get rid of the educational secretary and put in a new one, and then go down the line. You can put in a new pharmaceutical minister or medical minister, and then go down the line. You can do that once you're in power. You can look what Trump's done.
What I'm saying is, it will take years. It will take years to get down the line.
I mean, the thing is, it's all right talking about these things, and I think, yeah, you're right. That, I mean, Chris's party is fine. I'd vote for it. But I'm just saying, we cannot get in power. It's going to be too late before we can get a party like that in power. That's why I'm saying we have to chuck allegiances out the window at the moment and put all our small parties.
Is that both? Is that both, Spirit? Is that both? As in TV, the Democrats Party, or UKIP, or?
Yeah, anybody that's not conservative or thinking, the main three. You've got to vote for them. Get together and get this lot out of power. Because if you wait the time to get one particular party in, it's going to be too late. The EU's going to overtake us. There'll be no vote in the left. There'll be no vote.
Aaron Banks, who supported you financially, made it grow, has actually sold them to, from what I've read, and goes to the Conservatives, and then make it a majority of the government, and they'll go there. If everyone left, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, the majority of Conservatives want the EU. You'll get nowhere.
Spend all that money supporting UKIP, going through hard times and good times, and back to hard times, to walk away and actually tell them not to bother. That's what I can't get around. It's like, why don't I just go and waste £3 million?
Maybe he just doesn't want Labour in.
Maybe they're all working together as part of the establishment. Have you thought of that one?
Why would you waste £3 million trying to do stuff what you did?
He'd be better trying to open up his own radio station, wouldn't he? That's what
Donald Trump's a great bloke, isn't he? Donald Trump's a great bloke. We got to remember, he's the only guy who actually...
One at a time. One at a time. Spirit, finish your point.
What I'm saying is, how are we going to get into power? We've got to get this lot out, and we've got to get them out soon.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. You won't have a vote to get them out.
Well, me and Glenn were talking about, getting people out on the streets, getting people partying, getting some love and life injected back into politics based around the new parties. So that will get the population and the populace happy and wanting and willing to vote for these parties because they've been publicised. That's what they need.
Well, my idea was to have street parties.
Yeah, our idea.
So they're nice and fun. Everyone's communicating. Everyone's together. Have a barbecue. You can have a few, just have soft drinks at it, so it's not alcohol.
Like it was for the Jubilees.
Yeah, and just have it enjoyed. But then you have, the Democrats and veterans that have organised it and got this community together, and they'll get the information. But people will be mingling in with others, having a discussion here and there. And then by the time of it, it's the multiplier effect. They all go off. By the time, the whole town's talking about it. And then you go to the next town, you do that. Yep. Instead of doing it how the revolution, where they've done it by pamphlets.
Or knocking on someone's door.
On the backside. Because we've been trying to be too secretive for too long now. We need to be a bit more blasé about it.
Yeah.
So if we have parties, it could help. I'm just saying it's another option that could be there.
And Glenn, that method would also get...
Wait there, David, because Spirit was speaking right at
what?
the end.
You know exactly what's going to happen. You know exactly what's going to happen. They'll infiltrate Antifa into your party, start a riot, then they won't issue a license to have the parties anymore.
How can Antifa infiltrate a street party? They can get there, they can stand there with the sticks and go, eee, but how can they infiltrate? We'll just keep them on the outside, keep them behind the police.
They won't be dressed as Antifa, will they? Come on, let's just walk in as ordinary people, let's start scuffle, and then everybody will start fighting, and you won't get a license to hold another party.
Right. Let's be blunt here about the Antifa problem. Yes, it's a problem.
The shit stands.
But if we've looked at that, if you looked at the FLA,
yeah,
and you've looked, and also DVP, and the way that people are talking, if you look at it, I can tell you one thing: why are they not engaging? If you remember UKIP, as someone who was UKIP at one point, I can remember being set upon by far left lot, and because I was UKIP. I can tell you right now that they don't want to. They'll say all their silly things, but they won't go anywhere near physically.
No.
These groups, and the reason for it is they are shit scared of what we can do to them. They don't want confrontation with us, physical confrontation, because they immediately go, it's veterans, it's football fans, we start something, we ain't going to be able to finish it.
I can tell you now, on the Birmingham march, right, there were Antifa there, but guess what? They soon scuppered when they see who was there.
Yeah.
Right? And when I say there's boys, and not boys, there are men that are involved in this that make Jack the Ripper look like Krusty the Clown, right? These people are not your average people.
And at the end of the day, they can simply act as security.
Sort of rubbish.
They can simply act as unmarked security. And
it's technically, yeah.
And with these
why do you think the DFLA was set up? It wasn't just for a movement. It was for security as well, don't forget.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I'm saying with these parties... What I'm saying with these parties is it's a great chance for the DVP party to get involved and get engaged with the people to find out what they want. When the DVP party...
Do you know what our leaflets are having at the moment? 3 core issues in the local area. That's what we're standing on locally.
But
not an average.
Well, you're giving free cars out.
No, not free
Chris,
cars.
what I'm saying, yes, that's the old, and that's the establishment sort of way to do things. Knocking on doors, putting through leaflets, handing out leaflets. What we're saying is we'd be great to see a revolutionary way of doing it, a revolutionary way of publicising the party.
We're doing street stalls.
Yeah.
We're having soft touch on people's doors because people don't like you on the doors.
You're right there.
So we're doing the soft touch on the doors. We will be dropping in our target seats. We will be dropping leaflets. We will be doing a bit of canvassing. But the main thrust of our campaign is street stalls, where we've got our street stall. It's all bought. It's all ready to go, and we're literally just going to be in the town centre, in the town centres, with us, with a few leaflets, and there to talk to people, you know, and literally just to engage with the people and let in the high street while they're going about their business, when they're more happy to do it, rather than ambushing them on their doorstep.
Yep. And what I'm trying to say is that politics needs the injection of fun, needs the injection of livelihood, because look, how many times on this show have we always talked about the negatives and the negative and how bad things are? We need to address that. Yes, we need to address the issues, but we also need to help promote the future and the happy future, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, you're breaking up.
Yeah, I completely agree. And this is the thing. What is the one thing that annoys us about politics? It's the negative campaigning, isn't it? It's when you go, oh, this party does this party does that, blah, 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 blah.
Project fears as well, yeah, scaremongery.
Yeah. Why not? So all we're going to do is say, yeah, these are the problems we've got in the local area. We think we could do this to fix them. However, we're open to your ideas, and we want to engage with you. And do you know how I got my signature? I said one thing on the door, and every single time I had my